Chag Purim Sameach.
Queen Esther here. Although I do have to say I'm sad at this moment, just a teeny bit sad. I'm just going to express the sad, which is I can't find my stop go sign. But in scouring all of the closets here at the temple, I found some other fun stuff. So I found my JCC rummage sale Queen Esther costume, which I thought I would just let you enjoy for a moment before we go. I found my pink boa, which is always a fun thing because dressing up on Purim. And then these have been in the Grogger basket for years. Was there once a pet version of the Megillah that went on here before I came? I mean, come on, cats, dogs, what have you? Now this looks a little more familiar. Maybe we've got Mordechai here, but who is this guy? This, the star of the show. So I'm putting this guy on because it's very important that you understand what needs to happen when this guy comes into the spiel. And this guy's name is, wait for it, Haman!
Ooh!
That's a big one. That's a big one. I'm sorry. Well, this is the Grogger to end all Groggers. But I do want to just tell you, these, just in case you haven't seen them lately, these are our beautiful Groggers. And if you got your Purim baskets, which were amazing, if you went and looked down my throat, you would see all the things that went into a Purim basket that got left on my doorstep today. But you would have to dive into my esophagus to look at it because I ate it all. And we also have this kind of noisemaker. We've got the bad guy leading the good guy on the horse, Groggers. You might have remembered these from a year in the past. All kinds of fun from the past, but here we are in this year, 5781. It's a Purim like no other Purim in any of our lifetimes, and boy, oh boy, you're in for it. Certainly an upside-down Purim, but something that's not upside down is the fun we're gonna have together, and we hope you're in for a good treat, and that you have your Groggers ready, and you have your laughing belly ready, and let's begin our show. Seth.
All right, thanks, Rabbi. I'm excited. You know, before we begin, we have this opportunity. We're here together. I'd like to begin with a teaching from my classmates at HARCA, which is where I'm going to cantorial school right now. My classmates Jackie Raffi and Greg Marcus did this beautiful teaching on the book of Esther. Have you ever been in a situation where you've been asked to push yourself really hard, to step up, to step out of your comfort zone and do something scary? Our vast literature has so many stories that inspire us and strengthen us during such times. One example is when Esther had to confront the king. The future of our people was on the line. Esther took a great risk rather than living safely for the benefit of the Jews. The text says that she put on her royalty. She inhabited her divine self and used that to gain strength and courage to step up into this moment. Before beginning with our rah, high energy, super silly, super fun Purim Schpiel, I want to take a moment to put on that royalty, not as a disguise, but rather something that we wrap into ourselves. First, we're going to take our hands and touch the top of our head. Our royalty and bravery begins in our minds. Across our chest, our divine strength keeps us protected. Open our arms. It opens us to new experiences. And we touch our hearts. It opens our hearts. Our minds our protection, our openness, and our hearts. And it goes like this. Let's put on our royalty. Let's put on our royalty. Open up. Let's put on our royalty. Put on our royalty. Put on our royalty. Let's do that together, even a little bit louder. Feel that intention of dressing into something, allowing these intentions to dress us. Let's put on our royalty. Let's put on our royalty. Open up. Let's put on our royalty. Put on our royalty. Put on our royalty. The Hebrew is Vatilbash Esther Malchut. We're going to use the same tune. Vatilbash Esther Malchut. Vatilbash Esther Malchut. Vatilbash Esther Malchut. Vatilbash Esther, Tilbash Esther, Tilbash Esther Malchut. One more time. Vatishbar Esther Malchut. Vatilbash Esther Malchut. Vatilbash Esther, Tilbash Esther, Tilbash Esther Malchut. For every celebration, there's an opportunity to learn. There's an opportunity to have thoughts that we need to engage and to think about and to sometimes wrestle with. And I guess that's why they call us the Jews. But now it's time, if you're not already, to get into your costume. I'm going to get into mine. I am very excited to put this on so I can be costumed with all of you. And now I feel properly Elton John. How do I look? Is this good? All right. It feels good.
You look fabulous.
Thank you. You look fabulous. I love your coat. I want that coat. When I saw Rabbi's coat, I thought to myself, this is something that I need. So, let's begin with our festivities, Chag Purim. And I think you might know how it goes. Purim Day, it's a happy holiday. We make noise with our toys, sing and dance and play. Let's hear the groggers rush, rush, rush. Let's hear the groggers rush, rush, rush. Let's hear the groggers rush, rush, rush. When we say, Amen! Dun die, diggy die, diggy die. Hey, dun die, diggy die, diggy die. Hey, diggy, diggy, diggy die, diggy, diggy, diggy die. Diggy, 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 diggy die. Diggy, diggy, diggy die, diggy, diggy, diggy die. Diggy, 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 diggy die. Chag Purim, Chag Purim, Chag Gadol LaYehudim, Masecho Rashanim, Zimrod Rikudim. Havana Rishna, rush, rush, rush. Havana Rishna, rush, rush, rush. Havana Rishna, rush, rush, rush. To this Purim Day. Dun die, diggy die, diggy die. Hey, dun die, diggy die, diggy die. Hey, diggy, diggy, diggy die, diggy, diggy, diggy die. Diggy, 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 diggy die. Hey, diggy, diggy, diggy die. Diggy, diggy, diggy die. Diggy, 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 diggy die. Purim's here, Purim cheer. It's our holiday with beer. Mask and song bring along. Groggers loud and clear. Here go the groggers, rush, rush, rush. Here go the groggers, rush, rush, rush. Here go the groggers, rush, rush, rush. When Haman's name we hear. Let me hear those groggers. We know what to do when we hear Haman's name. We are told that we should blot out Haman's name. And the way we do that is with our groggers. Here's mine. Ready, Rabbi? You ready to do this again? Haman! Boo! When a people is saved from being hurt, merrymaking takes place. And that's why we have that combination of boo and celebration at the exact same time. So let's sing a song. You'll have your opportunity to boo during this song and take advantage of it. Oh, Haman was a wicked, wicked man, and Haman was his name, sir. He lied and lied about the Jews, though they were not to blame, sir. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be, and nosh some hamantaschen. You know, I like that merry, merry be part. Let's do just that part today. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be, and nosh some hamantaschen. Oh, Esther was the lovely queen, and King Ahasuerus, when Haman said he'd squelch us all, oh my, how he did scare us. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be, and nosh some hamantaschen. When Esther, speaking to the king, of Haman's plot did mention, he said, oh no he won't, I'll spoil his intention. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be. Oh, today we'll merry, merry be, and nosh some hamantaschen. Food. Oh, the food. Was that a clap I had? Thanks, Rabbi. The food, I love the food, always. I love mandel bread. I love sufgan yot. I even love some matzah when dressed properly. But my favorite is our hamantaschen. It is so great, and I like to sing about the things that I love. So sing this song with me. I like hamantaschen. I like hamantaschen, they're so good for noshin'. I like hamantaschen, yummy, delicious, and sweet. Again, I like hamantaschen, they're so good for noshin'. I like hamantaschen, yummy, delicious, and sweet. Do we put them on our nose? No, no, no. Do we put them on our toes? No, no, no. Do we put them on our clothes? No, no, no. Everybody knows that we eat them. Everybody knows that we eat them. I like hamantaschen, they're so good for noshin'. I like hamantaschen, yummy, delicious, and sweet. Again, I like hamantaschen, they're so good for noshin'. I like hamantaschen, yummy, delicious, and sweet. Do we put them on our knee? No, no, no. Do we put them on a tree? No, no, no. Do we feed them to a bee? No, no, no. Everybody knows that we eat them. Everybody knows that we eat them. I like hamantaschen, they're so good for noshin'. I like hamantaschen, yummy, delicious, and sweet. I like hamantaschen, they're so good for noshin'. I like hamantaschen, yummy, delicious, and sweet. Do we put them on our bed? Please, no, no, no. Do we put them on our head? No, no, no. Do we schlep them on a sled? No, no, no. Everybody knows that we eat them. Everybody knows that we eat them. I like hamantaschen, they're so good for noshin'. I like hamantaschen, yummy, delicious, and sweet. And with that sweetness, we move on to our spiel. Now, most often every year, we do our spiel with you. You're right there with us to boo and to cheer. Well, I am thrilled to say that we had a bunch of fine thespians, lots of actors who have come together and created a very, very new and exciting way of giving the spiel to you. So you at home, it's your job to cheer those who deserve to be cheered, and of course to blot out, to boo and hiss he whose name shall not be mentioned. Okay, I'll mention it. Haman! Boo! Now, I will say that when our fantastic eunuch narrator, I hope he doesn't mind that I let everybody know about that, but when our fantastic narrator says that word, he gives plenty of room for you to boo and hiss. However, so do that, so boo and hiss. However, during the scenes, you don't have quite the same time, and I don't want you to miss a single word from these great actors' mouths. So when they say that name during the scenes, feel free to give it a shorter boo, hiss, or even a and make sure you come back to listening, okay? So, and lastly, we're going to have a couple parts to this spiel, but at the very end, make sure you stay past the credits for some more words of wisdom and songs. Just like every great Marvel movie, we have some things after the credits, so stay tuned. But without further ado, our 5781 Purim Schpiel, Pandemic Megillah.
Thousands of years ago, there was a terrible time for the Jewish people. The Persian Empire conquered Israel, carrying off gold, cedar, and people. Two of those people were Mordecai, a polyglot who the Talmud says knew over 100 languages, and his cousin niece, a brilliant orphan named Hadassah.
Uncle, do you remember when we all used to live in Israel?
Oh, yes, Hadassah. Before those fakakta Persians came and stole our lands and forced us to come to Shushan.
You know, Uncle, it's hard sometimes to think of Ima and Abba. There's no one to put stones on their graves, and no one but you to know how joyful they were, even when times were hard.
Oh, there's enough death and sorrow and loneliness too, but we are Jews. Some days we cry, some days we laugh, some days we do both.
Do you remember how we would learn and laugh some more?
After Vashti had been married to Ahasuerus for 3 years, right when we were hearing rumors of a terrible illness sweeping through neighboring lands, he threw a large party to celebrate his 3rd year anniversary on the throne. Vashti was in favor of something small, like a 10-person garden party, masked, but Haman told the king to party for as many days as he wanted to live. So the king partied for 180 days. Vashti begged them to wear masks, but it wasn't quite successful. So many people, so close together, all drinking into oblivion nightly, the king was not able to read reports or govern his provinces properly due to his daily hangovers. That made his advisors ecstatic.
The more drunk the king gets, the more he delegates to me. I'm happy to do his work, especially with just a little fee off the top. If this keeps up, I won't just be the richest man in Shushan. Next to the king, I'll be the richest man ever born. Party, party, party!
You know, drinking for 180 days is amazing. What fun! This has done wonders for my stress level, my waistline, and my thinking. Can't you tell how much smarter I'm getting?
Oh yes, my king. Absolutely so. My only one thing is missing right now.
What could that be, Haman?
Vashti! would have the most beautiful woman in the world as your wife. However, due to her silliness about this sickness, we have not seen her face in months. You're her husband and the king. She should obey you.
You're so right. She should obey me. I need Vashti. You're next. Bring her here right now. I need everyone to see her beauty. Tell her to wear her very best crown. Nothing else, especially none of those silly masks.
Vashti, I know it's quite late, but your husband the king has asked for you to come to him in public, wearing nothing but a crown.
Absolutely not. Is he mad? I'm a queen. I should lead by example. My face will not be naked until this threat has passed.
Vashti, he is insistent.
No. If he requires it, I will divorce him.
Be careful, Vashti. He isn't sober at the moment, and he isn't exactly kind even when sober.
I know. I married a fool, but I will not be a fool with him.
When are you coming down? When are you going to land? I should have known how you react when I refuse your demand. Ha! You know I can't act like you own me. I don't come with a deed for you. I'm not a present for your friends to open. The queen's too young to be singing the blues. La, la. So goodbye, Shusen Road, where the harem's just property. You can't lock me in your tower. I'm looking out for me. I know there must be a place in this world where respect is part of the code. I finally decide my future lies beyond the Shusen Road. La 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 la.
Hey, Seth.
Yeah.
Tell me you know how to party like the king without telling me you know how to party like the king.
You got it.
Oh, she must be so proud. I noticed that future day eunuch has a beautiful head of hair.
That's right. He discovered Rogaine.
With minoxidil?
Of course, as advertised.
Wow.
So Mordecai spoke over 100 languages?
Yeah, but there were much fewer words back then.
Oh, right. Of course. Good point.
We speak a great deal about Esther's bravery in this, Purim story, but, Vashti, she was a pretty good head, too. She wasn't going to let anybody walk all over her, and for that, I am forever in her debt. Well, but let's just see how the whole thing unfolds. Let's see what happens next.
So then I had to tell the king that his wife would not come when called. He took it quite poorly, and Vashti lost her lands and her wealth along with her marriage, though she kept her dignity. For 3 years after Vashti left, the king governed in a fog, not looking for a partner to rule with him. However, one day he came to me asking how he could find another wife, but make sure that this one was the prettiest and smartest in the land. I came up with the most fabulous idea. He could gather every single beautiful young woman in the kingdom, pretty them up for a year, and he could choose the one he liked the best. He loved that idea and made it so.
Esther, you have been spotted in the marketplace as one of the 10 loveliest and smartest shiksas in all of Shushan. And you've been asked to compete to be the new queen.
Bob Castell, are you serious? First, I am no shiksa. Second, can you see me being married to that Shamil? I thought Vashti was right to leave. That Schmendrick has no backbone. He's like a dog that runs to whoever is holding the best piece of meat.
What you say is true, but they do not have to know that you are not a shiksa. The Brit Milah does not show on you, so leave it out. And consider this, Jews from Ethiopia to India are under this ruler. And you know what it says in the 31st chapter of Mishlei. It is not for kings to drink wine or crave strong drink, lest they drink and forget the decree and pervert the justice of the B'nai Oni, the oppressed and afflicted people. Every day he drinks and lets his greedy companions and counselors run everything as one more day we are in peril. You think this is bad? If he gets a bad wife, these troubled times could go to Cerise. Serious bad stuff. Plagues of frogs kind of bad. I feel it in my bones. We need to mention this house.
Oy vey is mirror, but how can I do better than Vashti?
How can you do better? Let me tell you. You have languages and numbers that were taught to you by your mamala, things Vashti and I never knew. And 2, you have the Torah. And 3, you got me. And I can give you advice anytime you need it.
Okay, this is Mishigas, but I'll do it. Not for this king, but for our people. So maybe they can have a better future.
Thank you, Klein Miedel. Let me tell you what to do when you get to the Haram. First, make friends with the eunuch and do whatever they say to do.
What will you have? Water? Oil of myrrh? Goat milk?
Bleh!
Meh!
Bleh! No, this goat milk is not half bad.
Well, it's also not quite half good either. I think that farmer let some of his he-goats into that pen. Smelling rather goaty to me.
Well, it's a revolting nosh. But you were right. It sure makes my skin rosy.
Can you believe tonight is the night?
Yes, it's been a long year. Though a good one thanks to you. You know, since my parents died, no one but my Uncle Mordecai has ever been so kind to me. Why did you do this?
It's what I can do here to make a difference. I have a choice, you know. I could sulk that I have to stay in a harem for the rest of my life and be a real drag. Or I could make it fabulous. And you, my dear, make it easy to look fabulous.
When it came to the contest, Esther shined. Given her grasp of 7 languages, her ability to use the abacus to calculate tens of thousands, and her skills in record keeping, she easily passed the intelligence tests. While the other young women were trying to look like Cleopatra with peacock feathers, dark coal eyeliner, and their heads drenched with eau de patchouli, Esther followed my advice exactly. A simple gown, fresh, clear goat milk washed skin, and nothing to make the king sneeze. No feathers, no fragrance. I may have forgotten to tell the other young women about his allergies. Oh well.
Shushan baby, Persian lady, raised to rule a land, pretty eyed, fiery smile, you'll marry a royal man, veiled and pretty, you'll charm the city and listen to my command. And now I'm smitten and I'm not quitting. Persian dancer in my hand. Oh, how it feels so real, lying here without Vashti near. Only you, and you can hear me when I say softly, slowly. Hold me closer, Persian dancer. Count the goblets on my table. Dress you up in silks and linen. My queen will be your new label. Hold me closer, Persian dancer. Count the goblets on my table. Dress you up in silks and linen. My queen will be your new label.
It was lonely at home without Esther there, so I spent more time sitting at the king's gate, trying to be her eyes and ears. She couldn't leave the haram without the king's permission, but I could send messages in. While sitting there yesterday, I heard two people, Bigtan and Teresh, part of the king's guard, speaking Kazakh. I had learned Kazakh from a gem trader from Nur Sultan, so I pretended to be asleep as they spoke. Since the king married Esther, he had been more interested in his rule and paying attention to his account books, and they were scared their financial chicanery was going to come to light. They were going to kill the king after his bath, trip him, and ensure he hit his head too soundly on the marble. I got this message to Esther's eunuch, and they ensured the king's life was protected. I was feeling quite chuffed about it, but then my least favorite of the king's counselors showed up.
Fabulous day, isn't it? Adoring world. Ah, there's Mordecai, someone who can bow to me. Come on, give a bow, Mordecai. You know you're lower class than me, one of those Jew slaves we plucked out of Israel. Bow to me.
Shalom, Haman. I respect you as a human, but I cannot bow. I'm a Jew. We bow only to God.
How dare you? Bow!
Zakte Michael, begging your pardon, but I cannot.
War! Haruf! Bow to me! How dare you not bow before me? You must die. But if you die, then I'll see another Jew in the street, and they won't bow to me either. I must be bowed to. This is ridiculous. Jews can't worship their own God. How ridiculous. They all must bow or die.
And thus was born a terrible obsession. Haman thought and thought of what to do. He lost sleep, and his sweet wife Zeresh became worried about him. "Oh, Pookie Wookie, Haman!" "Sweetie comes," said Zeresh. "Put on your best clothes, bring a huge bag of silver, make this bowing business into the worst dastardly thing possible, and then ask the king permission to help him out by killing all of the Jews. That will solve all of your worries, my love dove, and make the Jews into the problem, and you into the hero, and it will all work out." Haman started sleeping better after this advice and started gathering silver talents together.
Excuse me. My cake.
Oh, yes, Haman. You look fabulous. The only minister I can trust after that nasty assassination attempt.
I'm here to talk to you about another threat.
What threat?
There's this nation, people, Jews who are in your kingdom, and they're not obeying your laws, and they won't bow down to you. They're terrible, my king. So bad. Like, so bad.
Oh, sounds terrible. Very bad. What should I do?
Let me issue an edict for their destruction, and I will pay you 10,000 silver talents to help us go smoothly.
Fabulousness! Hey, I'm the king after all. Everyone should bow down to me.
It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside. I'm not the one who has usually tried to tell you, Esther, what you should do. But now's the time, Esther, to declare you're a Jew. If I had the power, but then again, no. Esther, you're the one who must steal the show. I know it's a lot that I ask of you, but your time has come to say you are a Jew. And you must tell Ahasuerus that you're a Jew. It's not that simple, but if not, then we are through. I hope he will see, when faced with what's true, how wonderful life is living with the Jew. I hope he will see, when faced with what's true, how wonderful life is living with the Jew. Ooh.
Rabbi, do you know who I am?
I can't see you.
I'm Haman! And I should be the king. I mean, I do all the work. can't say why they just won't listen. All his subjects seem to obey me but for one. I'm growing tired, and there's this stand there before me. I make the rules, and they don't feel the way I sway. Too late to save my pride from falling. I make the rules, and they don't change their way. But they misread my patience when they refuse me. Close the door and left me angered by their ways. Why won't the Jews bow down to me? Although I ain't the king, it's always someone else they see. I'm just a fragment of your king to rule them free. So I'm taking back control so the Jews will bow down to me.
Wow. I even got my lighter, my temple lighter out, also known as a candle. And now for something completely different.
Like what?
Let's hear a little of the Megillah.
Oh, but before we do the Megillah, we probably need to say some blessings, don't we?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. This should help. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al mikra Megillah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שעשה ניסים לאבותינו ואימותינו בימים ההם בזמן הזה. And now we can all sing along to our prayer for Thanksgiving, Shehechianu. You know it well. Join us at home. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'hegianu b'zman hazeh gen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'hegianu b'zman hazeh.
Vayehi bayom hashlishi vatilbash Esther malchut vata'amod bachatzav beit hamelech hapanimit nochach beit hamelech v'hamelech yoshev al kisei malchuto beveit hamalchut nochach petach habayit. Vayahi kirot hamelech et Esther hamalka omedet bechatzer nasachein ba'enav yoshet hamelech laEsther et sharvit hazahav asher b'yado vatikrav Esther vatiga barosh hasharvit vayomer la hamelech Malach Esther hamalka uma bakashatek ad chatzi hamalchut vayinaten lach vatomer Esther Im hamelech tov yavo hamelech v'haman ayom el hamishtei asher asiti lo vayomer hamelech Moharu et Haman La asot et devar Esther Vayavo hamelech v'haman El hamishte asher asta Esther Vayomer hamelech la Esther V'mishtei hayayin Moshe alatek vayinaten lach uma bakashatek ad chatzi hamalchut v'te'as v'ta'an Esther v'tomar She'elati uvakashati imatzati chen ba'enei hamelech va'im al hamelech tov latek et she'elati la'asot et bakashati yavo hamelech v'haman el hamishtei asher e'eseh lahem umachar e'eseh kidvar hamelach.
That was fantastic.
She's a real method actor.
Indeed she is. Okay, Rabbi, what is a Purim video that lives in your head rent-free?
Well, here you go. Esther, your uncle is dressed all out in sackcloth and ashes and sitting by the gate. I went to ask him what was up, and he gave me this piece of paper. Can you read it?
Oh no. Oh no. Oh, eunuch. Haman wants to kill all of the Jews. It is supposed to happen soon. All across the whole province and beyond. And whoever kills them gets all their money. Oy vey, it's mir.
So sad. That Haman is obsessed. Wants people to bow to him. You know, but what can we do? Doesn't really affect us, right?
Ugh, eunuch. It affects me. I am a Jew. Eunuch, I will be dead too. And not just me, but the entire Jewish people. From India to Ethiopia, all provinces, there will be none of us left. None. Ugh, Mordechai wants me to go to the king and beg him to change his mind and save our people.
But you can't. Any person who goes to the king without being summoned is executed. Only if the king extends his golden scepter can you live. and the king hasn't summoned you in 30 days.
But if I do nothing, that is no escape. My silence will not save me. My uncle once said we needed to mention this palace.
He says, for such a time as this, were you chosen queen.
Oy vey, Itzmir, for such a time as this, tell Mordecai I will do it, but I cannot do it alone. Please tell him to have all the Jews in Shushan join me to pray and fast for 3 days and nights. I then will go to the king. I know he may kill me, but if I die, I die.
Don't you want some food? I have more goat milk. It's been 3 days.
No. If they are fasting, I am fasting. It will be over soon, one way or another.
Oh, you're still there. Okay, well, so Esther mustered up her courage, put on her best double mask that matched her dress, and left the harem and headed straight to the king's throne. The king did not take off her head, but extended his scepter and asked what she needed. She invited the king and minister Haman to a feast the next day. Since she wasn't born yesterday, she knew that it's best to say hard things when people are fed and well lubricated. Haman left that meeting, skipping in joy. However, her uncle Mordecai hadn't taken his sackcloth self off to a shul somewhere to pray. He was sitting right in front of the king's gate as usual, and when Haman saw him not bow to him, he lost his top. When he got home to Zeresh, he said, I am so furious and unhappy and mad and angry and just so woo-woo matty pants. I was so happy today. Esther invited me to a party. The king loved my ideas. It was so great. But then I saw Mordecai at that gate and he didn't bow to me. The nerve. I just want to kill him right away. I can't wait for the 13th of Adar. Zeresh calmed him down and told him not to wait for the 13th of Adar, to have the gallows built that night and asked the king to have Mordecai hung on it.
Eunuch! Eunuch, I can't sleep!
Well, I have some warmed lavender goat milk and some boring reading that might be good. I have just the section from the Book of Chronicles from your reign.
Sounds promising.
Sure, I have it right here. Oh, you remember that Bigtan and Teresh thing?
Those assassins!
Says here that Mordecai warned you about the plot.
Oh yes, that funny stiff little man from my gate. Did I give him a purse of gold or a title or a feast in his honor?
It doesn't say you did, Your Highness.
Fiddlesticks! I should have done something. Can you ask Haman what he would do for someone to whom the king wishes to honor?
Sure. Wait a minute. He says, if it were me, I'd want to wear a royal robe the king had worn, ride the king's horse, and have a noble minister guide me through the streets publicly saying, this is what happens to people the king wishes to honor.
Brilliant! Tell Haman to take the garment and my horse just as you said, and do exactly this for Mordecai the Jew.
This is one of the worst days of my entire life. Instead of sending Mordecai to the gallows, the opposite happened. It's like the worst kind of muzzle. I go to get permission to murder him. And the eunuch tells me the king wants my advice on how to best honor someone. And I'm honest. And then the king turns me into a horse's rear all day honoring that stupid, awful Jew publicly. Such bad juju. But I know things will get better. I have that dinner thing with Esther tonight. She's never invited me to a meal before. My luck's turning around. My star will keep rising.
The food has been fabulous. The wine has been winsome. The conversation, however, not so clarifying. Please tell me, Esther, my queen, what is your request? Up to half my kingdom I will give to you.
O king, I and my people have been sold to be killed and destroyed. I ask that I may have my life and the life of my people. That is my request.
Oh, my queen, who would do such a thing? Who would threaten the life of my queen and her people?
Haman.
Haman, how dare you? Out of my sight.
King, may I ask if it is possible to rescind your decree about the 13th of Adar?
It is too late to rescind my decree. However, I can make a new decree. You get all of Haman's money and estates, and every Jew is allowed to gather together and defend their lives.
You did it, Esther. Not one Jewish life was lost from India to Ethiopia. How shall we remember this, Lador Vador?
We should hold a party. For one night, once a year, and ask our people to do 5 things. 1, feast. 2, be joyful. 3, give food to each other. 4, give gifts to poor people. 5, listen to this story.
Oh, I've got it. We Jews will never forget your chutzpah and your gevurah.
Nor your wisdom, your uncle, if I have anything to do about it.
Well, you all know just what it's like when hate is coming down the pike, and there's the lonely light that shines from you. We must not give in to strife. We are together true. And did you think that we can never win? Look at us, we're coming back again. We have found our voice in that simple way. And if you need to know why we're still standing, it's the faith we claim. Don't you know we're still standing better than we ever did? Looking like true survivors, joyful like little kids. And we're still standing after all this time, shining the light of our truth into the hate that blinds. We're still standing, yeah, yeah, yeah. We're still standing, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So my people, my friends, this is where the rabbi has to make it get real. So give me a minute to do that, because I probably don't have to remind you that Purim was probably the last time that this congregation was able to be together. So it's been a year. It's been a topsy-turvy, upside-down year. We are living a Purim Schpiel story of things turned upside down, v'nahafochu. In all kinds of ways, our whole lives have been turned upside down. And we are plagued by that question that Mordechai poses to Esther. Who knows if this is what you were made queen for? Who knows what it is that we're supposed to do when the world feels topsy-turvy? But the message of the Megillah is clear that when the question is who knows, we dress up. in our royalty, and we dress up in our courage, and we do whatever we can do to survive, to celebrate life, to be joyous, to own our grief, but also to recognize our blessings and feel gratitude. I am so inspired by the 36 people who drove all around Asheville and beyond to lay baskets at all of your feet, fulfilling one of the mitzvot of Purim, and the dear people who put them together, Cindy Filer, Hannah Van Regenmorter, Judy Kaplan. I'm sure there are more, but this collective effort, this is what it means to say, who knows or what we're supposed to do? We're supposed to dress up in our royalty, in our courage, put on a smile, and do what needs to be done to live another day, to smile another day, to celebrate another day. Chag Sameach, all y'all. I love you, I miss you, and there's one more Elton John inspired song. I just have to say thank you to Seth Kellum for masterminding this entire Purim Schpiel. He is amazing and an amazing Elton John impersonator. So he's going to take us out this evening.
Stand at the tail so grand, the place where it all began, the hidden miracle. One man second in command, slaying all the Jews with his wicked plan, a scheme so miserable. He chose the day for the disaster. It's ironic what came after. He didn't know a girl named Esther would turn it upside down. So raise your glass if you can see the hidden meaning. It's right in front of you. And we will never be anything but proud to tell the story. Bina Habaku. Oh, won't you come on and raise your glass. So come on and raise your glass. So raise your glass if you can see the hidden meaning. It's right in front of you. Well, we will never be anything but proud to tell the story. Bina Habaku. Oh, won't you come on and raise your glass. So come on and raise your glass. So come on and raise your glass. So come on and raise your glass. Chag Purim Sameach, everybody.
Chag Purim Sameach.